dreams come alive. Life is for living. With you, I've made my decision. You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom's untainted. With you, no moment is wasted. See the sun now bursting through the clouds. Black and white turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I have found. This is living now. Living now. You lead the way, got you right beside me. In your love, I'm complete. There's nothing like living with you. This life you created, I choose.
thank you for joining us online. And we love worshiping together. I hope that you guys had fun. And so today is our second week of looking at hands. And today we're going to look at what is in your hand. But first up, we're going to watch a story together all about Moses. So let's get ready and watch.
Before the days of the parting of the Red Sea, Moses was a shepherd. He looked after his father-in-law's sheep. One day, while Moses was out shepherding in the wilderness, he stumbled across a most peculiar bush. It had flames of fire blazing out of the middle of it, but the fire didn't seem to be burning the bush. Moses was shocked by what was taking place. "What's happening here? It's amazing. I can't believe it. The bush isn't even burning," he said. Then God called out from the flame, "Moses, Moses." "Yes, I'm right here," Moses responded. "Don't come any closer," God said. "Take the sandals off your feet. You're standing on holy ground." Moses did exactly as God had instructed. "I've seen the trouble my people are going through in Egypt," said God. "I have heard their cries for help, for freedom from their slavery. I intend to free them, get them out of there, and bring them to a good land. It is time for you to go to Pharaoh. I am sending you." "What? Why me, Lord?" asked Moses. "I can't do that. No one will listen to me." "I will be with you," said the Lord. But Moses answered, "What if they do not believe me or listen to me?" The Lord said to him, "What is that in your hand?" "A staff," Moses replied. Then the Lord said, "Throw it on the ground." Moses threw it on the ground, and it became a snake. Then the Lord said to him, "Reach out your hand and take it by the tail." As he did, it turned back into a staff in his hand. Then the Lord said, "Put your hand inside your cloak." So Moses put his hand into his cloak, and when he took it out, the skin was white with leprosy, a deadly disease. Moses put his hand back into his cloak, and it became well again. Then the Lord said, "If they do not believe these two signs, take some water from the Nile and pour it on the dry ground, and it will become blood." Moses was still nervous. "But I cannot speak well. I don't think I'm the man for this job." God was angry with Moses' lack of faith, but promised Moses that his brother Aaron would join him and speak for him. "Now go. I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." Moses went on to do exactly what God had told him to do and saw many amazing things in his lifetime. He freed the Israelites and led them into their promised land. It all started by using what was in his hand. What's in your hand? What can God use that you have? Although it might be scary to offer it up to God, He can do far more than we ever could with what we have in our hands. He's that kind of God. So what is in your hand?
Wow, that was an amazing story about Moses and how God used him to do so many miracles. So now we're going to look at 3 points that's going to help us remember today's lesson. And point number 1 is, what is in your hand? So God asked Moses to lead his people out of Egypt. Now that was no small thing, and it was practically impossible. And even Moses asked, well, who's going to listen to me? And how are we actually going to do that? But God asked Moses, what is in your hand? And Moses had his staff in his hand. And God used that to show his miraculous power. So what about us? What is in your hand? What is in my hand that God can use today? Maybe it's a gift, maybe it's a talent, maybe it's the way that you are wired and how God designed you. Maybe it's an opportunity, or even the place where God has placed you right now. But every single one of us have something in our hands that God can use. And God has made each and every single one of us unique and different for a reason. He has created us to serve Him. He has saved us to serve Him, and He has called us to serve Him. It is all about God, and He would not make you in one way to use you in another way. And we don't have to spend years of our lives trying to figure out what God's plan is for our life. We can just use what is in our hand to do and to fulfill what is in our hearts. And point number 2 is small to great. If you had to run a marathon, you would probably have to start training months or even years in advance. Now let's say you want to go run the Comrades Marathon that is happening tomorrow. I don't think that you would last very long, because most of the time we don't see the training and the discipline and the hard work that goes into a success story. Now, the thing that God has placed in our hand might seem small right now, but God is using our everyday serving one another, being kind, being generous. He is using that to prepare us for the greater things that He has in store for us. So let's use what's in our hand, big or small, right now. God is going to use it, and He's preparing us for greater things that is to come. And point number 3 is get to it. Whatever we have in our hands right now, God can use it. Even at school, God has given you an opportunity to serve your friends and those around you. And at home, we can use what is in our hand. You can be the daughter, the son, the cousin, the brother or sister that you were called to be. And even at church, we can use what is in our hands. Look for opportunities and ways that we can build the church and build the kingdom of God together. In Colossians, it says, whatever we do, let's do it as if we are doing it for the Lord. So let's use what is in our hands to fulfill what is in our hearts. So those are the 3 points that is going to help us today with today's story and remember it a little bit better. Next up, we're going to have our memory verse. And I hope that you guys have fun. We can't wait to see you again next week. Have an awesome week. Bye.